Hey everybody, it's Grady at Twin Creek Audio, back in the studio today, and today I have something kind of amazing, or at least very interesting to show you. It's called SonicWORX, the Power Bundle, by Prosoniq Software. Prosoniq Software was a German software company that as early as 1992 were applying artificial neural networks to audio processing. Which that's pretty cool. It's like really space age and kind of sci-fi, and so I started reading about that and like, this is cool, let's look into this further. So they were famous for a processor called Pandora that can remove a vocal track from a stereo mix. But the SonicWORX software also includes some other neural processing elements like the neural drum processor that can bring up the drums in a stereo mix. So this isn't just your average mastering software, although it does have a good EQ, multiband compressor, and all those kinds of things as well. This thing seems like it was suited for mastering or possibly for loop production, and this version is from 19 years ago in 2001, and it runs on classic Macs. So with the help of my classic Mac PowerBook G3, I'm going to show you as much as I can in a short video about SonicWORX Power Bundle by Prosoniq. So I worked really hard to set this up where we can see this pretty well. There's no screen capture software for Mac OS 9, at least not that's available anymore. There was some made back in the day, but if you can find a download of it, you can't get it registered. So I don't have any lights to cause glare. I'm lighting it only from the side so that I can see what I'm doing. And I have the camera zoomed in. It's an LCD, so we shouldn't have too much flicker or anything. So let's open up SonicWORX Power Bundle so I can show you some of the really advanced features that this has for being from 19 years ago. When you first open up SonicWORX Power Bundle, you can tell it's kind of designed for mastering. You've got a control room window, so you can change your playback volume, and it automatically loads the default real time. So you've got all these modules, and you can add or remove modules, or you can grab them and rearrange them. One of my favorite things on here is this rubber band EQ. Wait, I'm trying to rearrange this first. Okay. The rubber band EQ, you can just add points to this and click and drag that all over the place. That's pretty fun. I like that. That's a nice interface. You can turn on and off the individual modules here. So there's the multiband compressor. The multiband compressor has, pretty much all the parameters you expect in a multiband compressor. Threshold, gain, and then down here attack, release, and ratio. And then your crossover points can be adjusted down here. So that's pretty nice interface. I mean, it looks a little bit dated, but this is used for the way it sounds, and I have been playing with this and it sounds pretty good. So then you've got output dither options, which I'm not going to be using because I have some 16-bit 44.1 kilohertz files already. So when you get into some of the other modules, you can see you've got a graphic EQ, an analyzer, Pandora, which was their famous vocal removing software. So they have a real-time version of that here in this part of the program. A parametric EQ. Refresh is kind of like an exciter. The rubber band EQ, which I already showed you a little bit, I really like that one. There's a saturation plugin, Saturate Pro, a subsonic generator, and a test signal. So you can add and remove those. When you get into some of the offline plugins is when you start to see that this is not just your average mastering software from back in the day. Under post-production mastering, you'll notice you've got Neural Drum Processor 1 and 2, and these are for bringing out the drums or percussive elements in a stereo mix, which is something really cool. And it uses the same neural type technology that the Pandora vocal remover that this company was famous for does. As you can see, we've also got, dynamics, the audio maximizer, which in this case, this audio maximizer, it actually works pretty well. and not a whole lot of control over it, but I guess it's intelligent. I've run a couple things through it, just experimenting with it, and it sounds pretty good. I mean, it maybe not up to some of the more modern things, but this is the same thing that, you know, Slate FGX, which I use all the time, says it's an intelligent plugin. So these newer guys, they're maybe taking a play right out of Prosoniq's book from a long time ago. So you've got several other things. You can add all the different batch plugins, and this has a lot of different things. So if you want to remove a real-time plugin, you have to go to the edit menu here and delete that plugin. They have an awful lot of things in here. This is actually ridiculous how much stuff is in this program. Under offline, you've got spatial and phase DSP, things like room processor, hall reverb, virtual room, special effects sound design, bit reduction, digital delay, the jungleizer, which is for the, you know, jungle, what is that, jungle house or jungle techno music that was big back there 19 years ago in Europe and Germany and England. Flanger, multi-chorus, the Sonic Crowder, which I have no idea. I've read some of the manual on this, but this software, this has a lot of stuff in it. Like I said, it's not just your average mastering software. It has analysis modules, and then of course a lot of batch commands. And this seems to import and export into, you know, almost any format, and it does support 44.1 and 48 kilohertz sample rates, and it also supports 16 and 24-bit. In this case, it's working with an ASIO driver for my Motu 828, the original 828 that I have. You've got time base and pitch correction, special effects, audio rendering. I mean, I don't even know what all this stuff does. I'm just poking around so you can see some of the things that are in here. This was the most interesting section to me because you've got some denoising and of course the two neural drum processors, which I thought that by itself is a cool feature of this program. Sonic analysis modules, which I already looked at. Frequency domain filters, so you can do the rubber band equalizer. I really like that. A vocal refresh, which is like an exciter. It's even got a vocoder, 2 of those in here. So just unbelievable amounts of stuff. There's no way I could possibly show you everything in this video, but I am going to go ahead and load up 2 examples and show you a couple things that it can do. And I've got the outputs connected to the recording device that's also got my voice mic, so you'll be able to hear these in real time as I process the file. So let's go ahead and load up a track. I'm going to go over here and I have a mix, and it's the old intro song that I've used on my channel, which is just a snippet of one of my songs. So let's open that up and let's listen to that without it. Before any processing. Now let's open the real-time window and see what we can do if we just wanted to master this track. So this turns on all the modules or turns them off. So we have those active, and we have the rubber band EQ and the multi-band compressor on. We don't need Dizzer because this is already a 16-bit file. So let's look at our rubber band EQ, because I think I was messing with, no, that's pretty good. And you can just add a point to this thing and change your EQ curve really easily. Now obviously I'm not going to master a record for release with this right now. I'm just kind of playing with this to give an example and show you on the screen what this 19-year-old piece of software is capable of. And I really like the interface. This works as good as any of these type of equalizers that I've ever seen. So we've got that, and then the multi-band compressor, I've already been playing with this, so I kind of have this set up like I want. And let's play it back with both of these plugins turned on now. So let's just for the demonstration, let's go ahead and process the file with those two mastering plugins. So now that that's done, and it has made it louder, and the multiband compressor and that rubber band EQ have been put on the track, and try one of the offline effects to see if we can get it really nice and loud. I'm going to go and you choose the audio maximizer and load that up, and let's set up our parameters. I really don't want to push this too hard, because when I was experimenting with this, if you use this sparingly like you should this kind of software anyway, this sounds pretty good. Okay, so we want to apply that audio maximizer now to the file and watch what happens. It gives you that nice little sound when it's done with processing when you're using the offline plugins. And now let's hear it back. It's brought the levels up, and it didn't destroy the sound, and that's just with me quickly demonstrating what this software can do to master a real short track. So I think it did pretty well, especially for a piece of software that's 19 years old, and it seems pretty advanced. I'm pretty happy with what that did, you know, and the performance of this software is pretty good for a PowerBook G3 that's 400 megahertz. Now I wanted to try one of this neural drum processor. I want to see if I open this really thick kind of rock mix, can this plugin bring the drums out? So I've got one of my old, it's an instrumental kind of rockin' song, classic rock kind of vibe. And I'm gonna, of course we can delete this too. It's actually an audio editor as well, so I can get rid of that blank space at the beginning. The drums are already pretty punchy there, but I am really curious to see what this neural drum processor will do to this track. We need to open the window for that. And there's our neural drum processor. Ooh, we have two of them. We're going to remove one of those right there. Okay, 20 and 2.4 for sensitivity. So we can process this song with the neural drum processor 1. I think number 2, according to the manual, is for people that don't have as powerful of a CPU. So we're going to use number 1 because this is a pretty powerful CPU for back then, and process this song here and see what we get. Does this thing bring out the drum tracks from the mix in a more dramatic way? While it's processing this file, I almost want to think that this drum processor would be something really good for dance music. I'm not sure how well it's going to do on this kind of classic rock style track, but let's just see what it does. Oh, the sound means it's finished with the track. So let's line this up to where the drums come in and listen to what the neural drum processor number 1 did to this song. Well, it did something to the sound. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what you think of the neural drum processor. So regardless of what we think about the neural drum processor and what it does, you know, I may not be using it correctly or anything, but this software does appear to be a pretty good choice. If you have an old classic Mac like this just laying around, I mean, you can grab this for free. Some of the Macintosh abandonware sites have this. But yes, I do believe you can download this, and if you have a classic Mac, this might be a really great choice, because at least the mastering plugins that I tried on here, they seem to do a pretty good job and seem to be pretty flexible. It's easy enough to use, and it runs fine on this PowerBook G3. Well, I hope you enjoyed getting to see a little bit about this retro, I guess you'd call it retro software from 19 years ago, and what amazing things that this company Prosoniq was doing with their SonicWORX Power Bundle software way back when. I mean, I've got mastering software now that's newer, way newer than that doesn't have some of the things that this does. Kind of crazy. But I hope you enjoyed that, and I wanted to say thank you to my old PowerBook G3 for still working so that I can run strange old software that I find and share the stuff with you. But thanks so much for watching. I hope you all have an excellent day, night, weekday, weekend, hour, minute, second, nanosecond, whatever it is you're having. Have a good one, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.